hello there, Gemini. How are you? It is so good to see you. I'm Mary Sue, and I'm so grateful that you're here. Thank you for not only sharing your time and energy, your loving light with the channel, but also being part of my journey. I really do appreciate it. So today we are going to be taking a look at November, what the energies hold for you at this time, and any obstacles that might be on your path, and how you can navigate around those a little bit more easily. We do have a new moon in Scorpio on November 1st. That's going to be playing out in your 6th house of daily routines and wellness. So this is a great opportunity to set new intentions of taking better care of your physical vessel, whether that's eating more nutritiously, getting a little more exercise, starting a meditation practice, journaling, whatever you are feeling called to kind of like set a new commitment to, okay? And that's the way to take a look at it. You're setting a new commitment with yourself in order to help bring your physical being into better alignment with your spiritual being. And then we have Pluto finally moving out of this retrograde November 19th and into Aquarius, and it will be there for the next 20 years. Now, Gemini, this is huge. I'm a Gemini sun too. This is a huge moment because the Pluto in Capricorn energy, we've been talking a lot about it. It's been there since 2008. And it has literally transformed, in some ways, wreaked havoc on our 8th house of, shared resources, secrets, even, secrets around sexuality or that type of thing, and inheritance, family secrets, all of these shared resources, shared energies with other people, especially our family unit. So your family unit, or how you feel about your family unit, or people that you share resources with, romantic partners, or even institutions, probably is significantly different than it was in 2008. And Pluto is retrograde right now in Capricorn. So it's dipped back into that energy. So I know even for myself, it's been really kind of difficult. Some things are still kind of coming up in order for us to clear them out. It is really time for us to clear those out because we're stepping into Pluto in Aquarius. That will be in your 9th house of expansion, higher learning, travel, seeing people and cultures and groups a little bit differently, kind of moving towards how can I help the collective instead of that Capricornian energy of how do I get ahead for myself, right? So it's a beautiful energy. This is a much easier energy for the next 20 years, but as we are transmuting this final Capricornian energy, please be kind and gentle with yourself and know that, that there is brighter days ahead. So let's jump into November. Let's see what we have here. Yeah, Canary Spirit, sing your own song. So the Aquarius energy is the star card in Tarot, right? It is the energy of really allowing yourself to wish and dream. Because Pluto was in Capricorn in your 8th house, and it's so funny, I saw an astrologer on YouTube, and she is not a Gemini, but she was just saying, I don't know how I could have gotten through Pluto in Capricorn in an 8th house. It was a difficult transit, and you're still here, right? You're still standing. It's like that Elton John song. You're still standing, and it's time to allow yourself to give yourself a pat on the back and say yes. And the whole process has helped you to release any attachments to trying to fit in, right? In order to keep yourself safe, especially with people that you shared money with, right? Especially perhaps romantic partners or family members where you felt financially, controlled by, perhaps even, or your financial stability was based on that relationship or that job or that, societal kind of belief or mindset. This is the energy of going independent. of knowing that you can make it on your own. And for some of you, you may have lost a lot during that Pluto and Capricorn time, but you're still standing, right? And in that, some of that, you may have lost some material aspects of your life, but in that loss of material things, you also have been able to step into being more in alignment with who you truly are. It's a sense of freedom, of knowing I can say and I can do what is right for me and not feel like I have to be confined to the ideals of other people that are important to me because of financial stability. So let's see what else we have here. Yeah, sanctuary, connect to your inner strength. This is what Pluto in Capricorn has allowed you to do, is to step into your inner strength, to know just how strong you are. If you've gone through difficult times, and I know from reading the comments, some of you have gone through very difficult times during these last 15 years. I'm sending you much love and hugs because it has been a difficult transit, but it's a little bit of that energy of understanding. It's made you stronger in who you are. You could have gone through a period where you lost quite a bit in your life, relationships or financial security, and it helped you to understand what was really and truly important to you, right? So let's see what else we have. Uncovering treasure. Beneath the surface lies great bounty. I feel like between now and especially November 19th, when Pluto finally moves into Aquarius, it's almost like you are unlocking a lot of the treasures of who you really truly are and what you are meant to do here. Right? It's a little bit of an energy of really understanding how bright your light is, how loving your energy is, how important it is for you to speak up, even if you've gone through, perhaps even since childhood, times where you felt like you could be seen but not heard, right? You grew up in a family that was kind of like that. You know, children were meant to be seen and not heard. Your voice was not important. You could have grown up in or had situations, especially these last 15 years, that highlighted that energy of you couldn't speak your truth. You couldn't really live the life that was meant for you. Yeah, and now it's a new sense of commitment, but instead now of committing to other people, committing to jobs or institutions or mindsets or beliefs that are not in alignment with you. You're committing to yourself and to what is important to you, to the message that you are meant to deliver to other people. This is you stepping, oh my goodness, I cannot believe this. I feel like a lot of you are moving too. But it doesn't mean that you have to physically move. It is about moving, going through this door, right? This portal and into a world of peace. What has been your pain, what has been this energy of keeping you confined, right? These doors are closed. It's almost like this energy of Gemini, you have no choice, right? For the last 15 years, you could have been in situations where you felt like you had no choice. You had to stay in a relationship. You had to stay in a job. You had to stay in a situation that really wasn't in alignment with what your spiritual journey is. Right? Or what you are here to do, to how to shine your light. And yet you felt like you were being, the doors of possibilities, opportunities were being shut, or you felt confined to a relationship or a situation. Now, it is interesting. I feel like you've been let go a little bit, like a getting out of jail card, right? In Monopoly. It's that energy of you've been or you are very close to seeing how you have allowed yourself to free yourself from that, right? It could be that you left a relationship or a situation physically, right, years ago. But it's the emotional baggage. You see the baggage right there? It's kind of like the emotional baggage that you still have to unpack. There's like a one, you see how small that suitcase is, right? It's not very big. It's kind of like unlocking the treasure of what all of this that has occurred for you, this sense of confinement, this sense of I have to follow the rules or I won't be safe and secure, has done to, I want to say, has closed your heart. I honestly feel like there's almost this energy of opening your heart chakra to seeing the treasure that you are, because so many people in your life or a specific person in your life held you back, made you feel abandoned, not worthy of their love, rejected. It's that energy again of, Gemini, I see you, but I don't hear you, right? You could have felt like you weren't even seen. It's kind of like allowing yourself to rewrite this story. Allowing yourself to take a look at the emotions. And I know that's hard, Gemini, right? As Geminis, we don't want to go there, right? We don't want to unpack that last suitcase. We're more aligned to like pulling ourselves up by the bootstraps and moving forward, right? But this is your guides coming in and saying, listen, we have one little thing to unpack. It's kind of like understanding that when you unpack that, you're uncovering the treasure of who you are, why you are here, what you are to share with the world. It's almost like if you feel like it's out there, it's kind of like I can feel it. I think I'm on the right track. I'm not really sure. This unpacking right here is the last step to finding that crystal clear clarity about this energy, about what has kept you from truly stepping into, committing to yourself and committing yourself to this life of sharing who you truly are authentically and no longer allowing yourself to hold yourself back. Because I feel like there's almost a sense here that there's something about cleaning it out, over compromising who you are. And, it's kind of like, okay, they're saying chameleon. So it's the energy of you could have ended a difficult situation, relationship, job, career some time ago, but you're still not allowing yourself to be truly authentic to who you are. You learned at maybe a very young age that you had to over compromise. You had to bend over backwards in order to make other people happy, or to at least appease them enough that they wouldn't bother you. There's an energy here of feeling like you've been bullied. And bullied is an energy of just feeling like somebody has more power over you, that it's not an equal balance, right? Somebody has power over you and they're using that power in order to contain you or confine you in some way, keep you from making choices that are more in alignment with what you want for yourself, manipulating you into doing what it is that they want you to do. Really kind of interesting. I can see there's, you could have some experiences right now that are kind of highlighting that for you. And it's kind of interesting because I've had that energy the last couple of weeks where it's kind of that energy of feeling like somebody is trying to get me to do what it is that they want me to do instead of what is on my path. There's a little bit of that energy, and it could be something really, really small, right? It could be that, you're patiently waiting for somebody to pull out of a parking spot, right? And you're wanting to take that parking spot, and then somebody comes the other direction and just zips in, right? And takes it. It's the energy of, you could see that in all kinds of ways. You go into the grocery store and, somebody's taking up the whole aisle and doesn't let you pass or whatever. I'm not saying it even has to be like detrimental or very, very difficult, but it's almost this energy of allowing yourself to see you are manifesting this sense of peace. And that is what we are all wanting. This sense of peace, of knowing you have peace twice. This sense of peace of unconditional love. That's what it is. Unconditional love. Of being loyal to who you are, what it is that you want, and not feeling like your someone's love, okay, or financial stability is based on you only being loyal to them, being attached to keeping them happy, keeping them in a sense of peace where your life could be in an upheaval, right? It's the energy of understanding when I commit to unconditionally loving myself, you open yourself up to be unconditionally loved by others. And I think it's this energy here where you're going back and forth. It's kind of like you could have memories of times where you were putting forth your unconditional love towards somebody else, and then they stomped on your heart, right? I mean, totally heartbroken. This is the energy of understanding that there's a difference between just opening the doors and loving other people with no sense of regard for your own heart. So it's understanding how important boundaries are. Boundaries are where we stop and somebody else starts. Understanding that when we have those healthy boundaries, we can trust ourselves more to open our hearts, because those boundaries help us to know where we end and where somebody else starts, where we are comfortable in having someone in our space and where we're not. I feel like that's the key here. Is I feel like you didn't have healthy boundaries before, therefore you held it back on saying what you needed to say, but you could have had somebody in your life that told you how they felt about you. And if you were to share your feelings, right, you knew that you would be cast aside. I feel like this is you understanding that it's almost like understanding that when you love yourself, you're also loving other people. When you can get to the point where you love yourself unconditionally, right? You love all the parts of you. You love where you are on your journey. You can allow yourself to forgive others and to forgive yourself, right? Forgiveness is only allowing ourselves to release from the pain so that we can move forward in peace. It's not condoning anybody's actions. It's not forgetting, right? You don't have to forget something happened. It's just saying, I'm releasing myself from, you could be even releasing yourself from shame and guilt of not leaving a relationship earlier, or not leaving a toxic job earlier, or not speaking your truth earlier. This is almost the energy of really and truly, you may have even forgiven other people, but it's kind of like allowing yourself to forgive yourself. Yes, and you are moving forward. This is something you've been dragging around. It's like this suitcase. You've been dragging this suitcase around, maybe even for the last 9 years. You could have even left a relationship or a situation 9 years ago, but you're still dragging around the resentment of that situation. Not able to forgive a person or a situation. It's about allowing yourself to see that in a different light, right? To allow yourself to know that this is part of your spiritual path in order to help you to see who you authentically are. You know, it's when we have somebody in our life that holds us back, doesn't allow us to shine our light, we can have a lot of resentment towards that person, but there's also that sense of resentment towards ourselves that we didn't allow ourselves to really speak up, right? Or to leave the situation. And being okay with that, we were doing the best we could at that time. I also feel like for some of you, you've awakened to a much higher, consciousness now than you had years ago, maybe this 9 years ago. And it's almost like, don't be too hard on yourself for decisions that you made 15 years ago, 9 years ago, during that Pluto and Capricorn time since 2008. It's kind of like you see the world differently today, and you may be holding your past self to a higher standard than where you were awakened to at that time. You may have awakened sometime between 2008 and now. And it's kind of like, why did I allow myself to stay in that situation or that relationship? Why did I do that? Right? Like taking on that sense of shame or guilt or even resentment towards other people, but understanding you see the world differently now. Right? And allowing yourself to forgive yourself for what occurred in the past, because here's the thing, is that you were doing the best you could at that time. You may not have been quite as conscious then, quite as awakened. You could have been dealing with people that weren't self-aware, weren't conscious, weren't awakened, right? They still may not be. It's kind of like allowing ourselves to unconditionally love ourselves for where we are on our path, and understanding that the way you are showing up today, okay, 20 years from now after Pluto goes through Aquarius, you may look back at today and have some critical eye or judgment for yourself at what you are going through today, but understanding that you're doing the best you can today. And maybe that's what you have to allow yourself to say. You could be kind of like holding your heart in this piece of luggage, right? Or closing off your heart, saying no to love, because it's kind of like, I don't want to get hurt again. There's that energy. I'm closing the door to my heart. Nobody's getting in because I don't want to get hurt, but also understanding that you're destined to manifest. Let's see what it is that you're trying to manifest, because it's coming in. You're stepping onto a new path when you can allow these emotions to come up, to unlock that piece of luggage, to open those doors to your heart once again, to understand that in the past, you may have allowed somebody to come in and make you feel less than, right? You may have stayed in a situation longer than you would today, okay? But you did the best that you could then. Love the person that you were back then, right? Send that person, that former version of yourself, all the love you can. And allow yourself to love that version of yourself, knowing that you were doing the best that you could at that time. For some of you, you could even have people in your life that are kind of pointing out about, like you could be a mother or a father, and you have adult children of some age that are pointing out like all of your faults as a mother or a father back then, right? Like even maybe before 2008. And you're kind of like, I'm not that same person, right? It's helping yourself to recognize that part of it is unconditionally loving that former version of yourself. Not to allow yourself to carry forward this energy of, I wasn't good enough then, I'll never be good enough, right? It's understanding that everybody, and I truly do believe that, everybody's doing the best that they can at this time. It's helping ourselves to see that, right? To see that unconditional love. Yeah, this has been a journey. I think for a lot of you, you have perhaps lived part of your life, right? Part of your former life, right? Following the rules. This is Taurus energy, but kind of like following the rules, having high standards for yourself, having high standards for others, people having high standards for on you, right? And I feel like you were trying to to meet the standards that other people, your family, your boss, your company, right? It's society had. This is the traditional roles. But this is also you seeing that even though there is some pain and heartache for following the rules and things not working out the way that they were meant to, okay? The way that we believed that they would, right? It's kind of like seeing the blessing in that. It's seeing the good in everything that has occurred. You are the wise one. You are the teacher because you are allowing yourself to transmute it and to allow yourself to use your intuition instead of just following the rules and trying to keep other people happy. You're stepping into this energy of knowing that your happiness, your sense of peace, that's what you're looking for here, is a sense of peace, lies in the fact when you allow yourself to use your intuition, to listen to your heart when making decisions, to having that true connection to your spirit guides, your angels, to the universe, and allowing yourself to work with the universe instead of working right with institutions or the rules that a family has put on you, that you can't be loved unless you follow these rules. This is you understanding it's not about who loves me. It's about me loving myself and making decisions that are in alignment with that. And when you are living that way, unconditionally loving yourself, right? Having no conditions on, I love myself when I lose 15 pounds. I love myself when I find a committed partner, right? I love myself when I, finish that marathon or start this business and make $1 million. It's kind of like I love myself now for the work that I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. Showing up for myself, being loyal to myself, showing up for the people in my life that I care about, showing up for singing my song, stepping into a career that's really in alignment with what I want for myself and how I want to share my gifts and talents with other people, my insight, my wisdom. This is you understanding that happiness, joy, abundance, everything comes when we first can get into that energy of unconditionally loving ourselves. No conditions on when you start to love yourself. Just sitting in that energy of I love myself. I love myself for everything that I have encountered on my path. And do I want to continue to grow? Do I want to continue to really practice unconditionally loving other people? Yes, that's true. It's knowing that you can continue to expand and progress. But at this time in your life, every single day, loving yourself for who you are and what you have encountered. Really kind of like almost celebrating what you have overcome in this Pluto and Capricorn energy, right? Understanding that it is bringing you everything that you are really and truly wanting to manifest in your life. It is destined. You have the fates, whether that is love, financial abundance, traveling, experience of being in nature, right? Perhaps even opening up some more spiritual gifts, whatever it is. It's almost as if the path is clear, the door's open, you can move forward when you allow yourself to unconditionally love yourself, something you probably have never experienced, maybe not even as a child. There was always some rules, right, that were attached to receiving love. This is you saying, you know what, I love myself completely for who I am. Right? And then it's also about spreading that to people around you. Unconditionally loving everyone in your life. Seeing the good, seeing the light in other people. Understanding that they are trying their best at this time, right? They may not have been awakened. They may not be conscious. right? But that's okay. You've been there too. So you can understand that energy. You can have empathy for them not being able to see the world the way that you do. Gemini, this is extremely spiritual, and you have had that energy for some time of being a leader for other people, of stepping into this energy of just knowing that you are the Hierophant, okay? In a different way. The Hierophant is a teacher, a wise one, somebody that has gone through the trenches of life and has come out on the other side, still loving themselves and loving the people that have been on their journey that maybe even hurt them the most. Keeping in mind forgiveness. Forgiveness allows you to be released, allows you to take the shackles off, right? And to move forward in a great sense of, getting out. I said something about getting out of jail and doing those things on a daily basis that help you to move onto this new path. This is the Judgment card, right? This is your soul purpose. This is you stepping into your purpose of sharing every single day. Knight of Pentacles, every single day. Taking good care of yourself. Okay, new moon in Scorpio is in your 6th house. Taking good care of yourself, doing those things on a daily basis that help you to connect to your guides, to your angels, to your higher self. Knowing you're not doing this alone. You're doing this with, the trumpets are blaring, right? Doing this with spirit. Shining your unconditional love for yourself and for others as brightly as possible. Every single day. This takes you in a new direction. It brings you a sense of peace. I mean, it's really, I think, this energy of finding peace in what has happened in the past. Once again, loving yourself. Don't allowing yourself to let go of any shame, guilt, resentment, anger, frustration that you have acquired. It's almost, it's kind of funny because this is a horse, but it's made up out of leaves, right? It's almost like you're dissolving those. As you move forward, it's almost like more leaves are falling off of the horse. It's allowing you to feel lighter, to feel brighter, to move forward, knowing you are on the right path. All right, Gemini, let's pull a soul truth card for you for some final advice. And I do personal readings. So if you're interested, the link is in the description box below. I'd really be honored to do a reading for you. Am I willing? I think this is the hardest part. And personally, I feel like I totally resonate to this. There are people sometimes in our life that it is really hard to allow ourselves to let go of the resentment, to let go of, to allow ourselves to truly forgive and wish them well. In your heart, not just saying it, right? But truly wishing them that they find the unconditional love that they seek. That's all we're all seeking. That's when we have peace, when we have unconditional love for ourselves and for others. I feel like you've really been up against some people that weren't committed to you unless you followed their rules, right? There were conditions on their love. Once again, it could have been even business, right? It doesn't have to be just romantic or family or friends. It could be in business. It could be in anything. You could see this in society, right? That you aren't loved or accepted by your friends in school or in society if you don't dress a certain way, talk a certain way, do certain things. This is you allowing yourself to see this whole journey has been to bring you to this place of peace, of being able to step into who you truly are. It's almost like you had to recognize what you didn't want, right? What wasn't in alignment with you in order to figure out what it was that you did want. And now you are able to manifest, right? What it is that you truly wanted. All of this was destined for you. But part of it is allowing yourself, being willing, right, to allow the past to kind of be in the past, to make good with it, to be able to say thank you for what you have been on. And I know that's difficult. A lot of times that's really difficult. But when you can make peace with what has occurred in the past, whether it was your actions or your words or the words or actions of someone else, make peace with it. When you make peace with it, it's like you uncover this treasure of who you truly are. Allow yourself to do this work. This is hard. This is not easy, allowing yourself to make peace with it. So it says, you are on the edge of something great. Can you feel it? Yes. There is risk, uncertainty, and imperfections ahead. Failure is certain. Vulnerability is a requirement. You must be brave and trust yourself more than ever before. You will reach the dream, but you must stretch yourself into a whole new level of belief and willingness in order to move forward with courage. Okay, now Gemini, I think for some of you, I'm trying to get that to focus for you. I think for some of you, the problem is that your trust was really broken in certain situations in the past. This is you understanding those healthy boundaries, not walls, not closed doors, right? Healthy boundaries help you to trust yourself better so that you can then trust other people. It's working on those healthy boundaries, right? Committing to yourself, not selling yourself short, not loving yourself only if you meet certain conditions, right? This is you saying, I'm showing up for myself. I'm showing up I'm being loyal to me. I'm being loyal to my own heart. Before I commit to somebody else or what somebody else wants me to do, it doesn't mean you can't partner up with other people or other situations or other projects. But before I do that, I'm going back to who am I? What is good for me, right? It's about not saying yes too quickly, maybe not saying no too quickly, allowing yourself to come back to what works for you and taking time to experiment with that. There is an energy of go slow. Knight of Pentacles is an energy of go slow, tread thoughtfully. Don't make any fast actions at this time. Things are going to speed up for you, but only if you allow yourself to reconnect to what is in alignment. Is this opportunity, this situation, this relationship in alignment with what I want for myself? And if it's not, allowing yourself, after some thought, to say no. And that will help to open up the doors that will take you quickly ahead. Wow, powerful energy there, Gemini. Please do take good care of yourself. I mean, this is a time where I know I'm having to really, concentrate on taking good care of myself. So please eat nutritiously. Try to get that sleep if you can. It's been difficult lately with all the energy. But take good care of yourself. Recommit to you. Recommit to what it is that you want for yourself, right? Know that that's your top priority at this time. Don't worry about that to-do list. Don't worry about where is this all going. Just showing up for yourself every single day. Loving yourself unconditionally. Knowing that you're doing the best that you can every single day. And being grateful. And trying to really focus on unconditionally loving other people and opportunities that are showing up on your path. All right, Gemini, I'm leaving it there. I wish you so much love and light. Thank you so much for all of your support by liking, commenting, and subscribing. And I hope to see you again really soon. Bye for now.